Hi, it's Lisa Blume from the Blume Group. I'm here today to talk about one of my favorite styles of homes in the Chicagoland area, and that's the Chicago Bungalow. We're going to explore the history of these bungalows and how they came to be, and I'm going to share 9 interesting tidbits on this wonderful style. So come on, let's check it out. There are 4 or 5, depending on who you talk to, different types of bungalows. The primary design feature of a Chicago bungalow is the facade and the front bay window. It can occupy a half, 3/4, or frankly, even the entire front if you have a side entrance. It can stretch the entire length. And these styles are how architects and builders identify the different kinds of bungalows. There are, again, 4 or 5 front bay forms. The first is flat, the second is square, polygonal, and then curved. The Chicago Bungalow Association even identifies a front porch style for a 5th type. There are a few design and structural details that make a Chicago bungalow unique. There are huge radiators under the front window, and frankly, the radiators are so large, why in the world would you need that to heat this small house? Well, believe it or not, these actually originated with the Spanish flu in 1918 through to 1919, and in an effort to prevent an outbreak of airborne influenza, health officials strongly recommend that the windows remain cracked to allow fresh air to circulate, and creates a thermal barrier to create cold air from moving. The third interesting fact in Chicago bungalows is they use subway tile. So subway tile was commonly used in bungalow bathrooms and kitchens, and it came about, or it was named from the origination in New York City's subway systems in 1904. Subway stations were notoriously dim, so they brightened the stations by being white gleaming passages, and the tile removed a depressing ambiance. Beyond that, the public safety nature of these spaces, combined with health epidemics and an understanding to keep things clean and transmission, that's why they were used, because they could be easily cleaned. These soon were evolved into bathrooms and kitchen spaces and residential, and showed up quite frequently in Chicago bungalows. So did you ever wonder what those windows above a normal door in, say, a bedroom or something like that were even meant for? They're called transom windows, and they were meant for cooling and ventilation. So back then, air conditioning did not exist. So transom windows located above both exterior and interior doors could be open to facilitate circulation, let the hot air out in the warmer months. They also used double hung windows, so you could open them from the top as well as the bottom. All about ventilation, air circulation, and keeping your home cool without air conditioning. Also in the back of these homes, and you still see these quite a bit, there were sleeping porches. So people would actually sleep in the hot summer months, so they would get a breeze on those sleeping porches. They're often remodeled today, so they're kind of a thing of the past. So I think the biggest issue today in bungalows are the kitchens. They're towards the back of the house. They're small, they're compact, hard to get in and out. There's just space really for one. They were what they call small and mighty. This was considered the rage. It was a private space designed for one person, read woman back then, to work as efficiently as possible. Some had a small table, built-in breakfast nook, but not much else. And laundry facilities were definitely relegated to the basement, but you would find sometimes built-in ironing boards in these kitchens, and that's fun to see. That's the biggest, I think, concern with people buying bungalows today. And they always want to tear down that wall into the dining room, but sometimes you have these great dining rooms as well. So down below we have a few links to design ideas of how you can keep that kitchen efficient and effective today without tearing down that wall. Between 1900 and 1930, tens of thousands of Chicago bungalows were built in the Chicagoland area. They benefited by standardized construction, so it was fairly easy and reasonably priced to build. The average cost to construct one of these brick bungalows was usually around $5,000 to $7,500. This was a great deal for developers, especially if they bought several lots. At the time, and then they acted as their own contractor, they'd sell them between $8,000 and $9,000, which was still relatively manageable for families moving into the area. And they built a ton of them. Nearly 100,000 bungalows were built in Cook County. Approximately 80,000 of those were in the city of Chicago alone between 1910 and 1940. With the peak boom being between World War II and the Great Depression. The 1940 census reported that half of the city's housing had been built between 1910 and 1930. So why so many bungalows? During those years, it coincided with Chicago's population more than doubling, and an enormous popularity of bungalows spearheaded the expansion of home ownership. In 2003, when the Chicago Bungalows were nominated to the National Registry of Historic Places, they determined that bungalows in Chicago still make up nearly 1/3 of our single-family home stock. Buying a bungalow today is exciting if you can find an affordable one. There are some affordable ones that haven't been touched in many areas of the city. You'll see some that have added second-floor dormers to accommodate today's growing families. And you'll also see quite a few that have been taken over by developers and have been flipped and renovated. These, of course, are coming at a higher price, and some are done better than others. But even with this renovations, the exteriors are always amazing and left untouched because they're brick and they're timeless, and they are a Chicago staple. So if you're interested in buying or selling a Chicago bungalow, give me a call. Hi, it's Lisa again from the Blume Group. Don't forget to like the video, and if you'd like what you've seen, subscribe to the channel for more information on Chicago's top neighborhoods and tips and tricks in the real estate market.